starts right now.
I think it's fair.
State Supreme Court decision affecting hundreds of prisoners across the state. What happens next now that the court says sentences of life without parole for second-degree murder are unconstitutional?
Emergency proclamations in Steelton after shootings. We talked to the mayor about these proclamations specifically, shutting down businesses. We asked her how effective they are.
It is game one of a 162-game season. These Baltimore Orioles in a new and improved Camden Yards trying to get back into the playoffs. We've got sights and sounds from opening day.
From zero to surpassing their goal of $8,000, students at Wheatland Middle School reached their goal to go to Hershey Park, and you might be surprised how they did it.
A refund from Amazon for a product you don't recognize or remember. I'm on your side to determine real or ripoff. Next.
WGAL News 8 at 6 starts now.
Live in the Susquehanna Valley and beyond tonight, we have team coverage of the Phillies and Orioles opening day. But we begin with a decision from the state Supreme Court overturning automatic life sentences without parole for people convicted of second-degree murder. Good evening. I'm Lori Burkholder.
And I'm Jerry Gish. This affects hundreds of prisoners around the state. News 8's Sarah Metz looked at the decision and the impact on the cases and joins us live now with more. Sarah.
Yeah, Jerry, Lori, under this new Supreme Court ruling, we could see one of the largest resentencing situations to date. The decision comes after an appeal by a man named Derek Lee. He was convicted of second-degree murder in 2014. Lee didn't kill anyone, but he was found guilty of second-degree murder because he participated in a home invasion robbery where someone was shot and killed. His sentence, as the state required, was life without the possibility of parole.
Now, you may agree or disagree that that's cruel punishment, without assessing some proportion or culpability. But the Supreme Court today said it's only fair to take a look at the facts of an individual case.
Now, the ruling says that not everyone involved in a crime is equally blameworthy. In 2023, a bill was actually introduced about felony murder, or also called second-degree murder, and it said Pennsylvania's prison system had approximately 1,100 people serving that sentence. Now, that bill clearly didn't go anywhere, but it does give us an idea on just exactly how many people this could affect, in addition to the change it will implement moving forward.
They're going to be able to move to have their sentences reconsidered. I think statistically, Pennsylvania incarcerates probably I'm around the top 2 or 3 number of individuals in the United States for this felony murder, second-degree murder offense.
It also will have an impact on the size of the prison population. One of the key factors that the state is facing is a shortage of correctional officers. Opening up this possibility of resentencing and changing how sentencing happens going forward will necessarily have an impact on how many people are in our state's jails and prisons.
More than a dozen of parties, just like the DA's Association, filed amicus briefs in support of Lee's position, including Governor Josh Shapiro. Now, the court stated it's giving the General Assembly 120 days to consider, quote, appropriate remedial measures. Back to you.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Steelton Mayor Sierra Dent says the emergency proclamation she put in place Sunday to cease operations at an event space that was the location of Sunday morning's fatal shooting is the fullest extent of her power. News 8's AJ Sisson live outside the Paradise Palace. And AJ, you spoke one-on-one with the mayor.
Jerry, and she said that the emergency proclamations, like the one that's over my left shoulder here, the one that's been up since Sunday, by rule gives her and council 7 days to, as she described, breathe after a shooting, something that she said that she would do again in a similar situation.
What was stated about that place, that's not what it was made out to be.
The emergency proclamation by Steelton Mayor Sierra Dent deemed the Paradise Palace a nuisance and a threat to public safety. Building owner Bob Widener says it was never meant to be that way.
Sunday morning, it was just unbelievable to me.
Steelton Police Chief Shockey Lacey deemed the incident a fatal mass shooting that killed 26-year-old Aaron Anderson Jr. and injured 3 others.
I do believe that as the property owner, he did what he could do in regards to the lease.
The retail lease as was indicated earlier, limits my tenants to 10 p.m. activities.
Widener tells WGAL News 8 the tenant partied the night before and used the event space he rented as a gathering for his friends later in the night into the next morning. But others followed and chaos ensued.
His friend said, no, the club's not open. This is just a private space. And then somebody split.
The shooting happened around 4:15 a.m. Sunday. In response, Mayor Dent placed an emergency proclamation, the fourth time she's done so in her time as mayor, something she says is effective.
If I have to hit every business or anything that causes harm or unsafe situations down here in the borough, I will continue to use that to my fullest extent.
The previous times the mayor has used this power in 2025 at the Soul Lounge just down the road here on Front Street, and also in 2024 at the Cyrene Elks Lodge, as well as the Hideout. Now, due to a quick Google search, or according to a quick Google search, all three of those locations have since reopened. But for here at the Paradise Palace, building owner Widener tells us that they may have to go in a different direction, citing what happened here over the weekend and what's also happened just down the road in Steelton. In Steelton, AJ Sisson, WGAL News 8.
AJ, thank you. New at 6, 2 men are now in custody, charged in connection with the shooting last October. Lancaster police arrested Jaquan and Jarrell Greaves today. Police say officers responded to South Mary Street on October 17th for a reported shooting. According to court documents, officers learned that two groups of people, including Jaquan, shot at each other. Bullets hit at least 2 homes with people inside. After the shooting, the group that included Jaquan ran to West King Street. Police say Jarrell Greaves met them there and took the gun that Jaquan used in the shooting. Officers say they found Jaquan with a gunshot wound to the upper leg, and he was taken to the hospital. He's facing a slew of aggravated assault and firearms charges. Jarrell Greaves is charged with tampering with evidence and a firearms offense.
A Carlisle man died in a crash in Fulton County yesterday. State police say 74-year-old Theos Varro died on Great Cove Road in Dublin Township, just north of McConnellsburg. State police say an SUV crossed the center line and hit Varro's minivan. The legal proceedings surrounding J&K Salvage are continuing with new motions filed, and this comes after a fire and environmental cleanup there. Last week, the Lower Susquehanna River Keepers filed an injunction asking J&K to stop operations until they get a pollutant discharge permit. The courts ruled against that motion, saying the request is moot because the DEP ordered J&K to close and stop accepting waste at the salvage yard. J&K filed their own motion in response to the injunction. It says it is in the best public interest for J&K to stay open as they adhere to environmental regulations, assist in cleaning the local environment, support the police, and promote the local economy. It also says about 30 people are employed by J&K, and their lives would be made worse unnecessarily.
All right, take a live look tonight at Ephrata, Lancaster County with our sky cam there. A little bit dark. No, I think we're having a little bit of a technical issue, but it was a beautiful day. There we go. That gives you an idea. Just an absolutely gorgeous Thursday. However, Ethan, the question now is, when does the rain start to move in?
Yeah, get ready for that rain to start moving in as we get past sunset. It has been gorgeous, splendid spring-like day today with temperatures topping off in the mid to upper 70s. Still 77 right now in Carlisle, 76 in Lancaster. But this is what we're monitoring. Notice that line of showers and thunderstorms moving through far northwestern Pennsylvania. That will be on our doorstep by about 8 to 10 o'clock. And then we're talking rounds of rain with some embedded thunderstorms through the night tonight. And some of those showers will linger into tomorrow morning. But notice the temperatures. They go down tomorrow instead of going up. By tomorrow afternoon, we'll be drying back out, but temperatures will be in the 40s. We'll be dry for the weekend ahead, but when does that warmer weather return? I'll let you know coming up in just a few minutes.